David, you obviously play a lot of great SEC games and opponents. We've seen Eric Ainge talk about Samford Stadium and not making much of a difference. You're on defense. When you played at Samford Stadium, did you feel like the crowd affected games? And where's Ainge coming from?
I like the way you phrase that, so you can use that. I like that. That's experience right there. This is a stupid atmosphere. It's silly, man. It's so awesome. It was one of my favorite things about Athens. It's why I came to Georgia. I remember being a recruit. And I remember 2000 being Georgia-Tennessee and us winning and ripping the goalposts down. And I think that's the day I figured out, like, I wanted to go to Georgia. So insane atmosphere. And in all these games, I think the hardest thing in college football to do is win on the road. I think it's one of the toughest things, especially in this league. And I think the crowd will have a big factor in the football game.
What about the hurry up? Again, your experience against a team like that, I know the rules have changed a little bit more conducive. What's the Georgia game plan to try and slow down a team like that?
Well, I think your offense has a lot to do with that. If you can play good offense and score, you can put them in the bind too, and you can get their defense tired. If you're looking, it's kind of a tennis analogy to me. Like, can you hold serve a couple times? Can you get the offense off the field? They're going to get theirs. Like, if you think Georgia's defense is 10 points a game, you're going to come out here and shut down Tennessee, and you're a Georgia fan, you're going to watch the wrong game. Like, Tennessee's going to score points. They're that good. The spacing, the speed, it just creates matchups that are very difficult to stop. But I think in the end, offensively, can you put pressure on the Georgia offense? Who makes the mistakes? Who gets a couple stops will go a big way and obviously determine actually the first quarter will be the biggest tell. When you look at Tennessee, 103-30 this season in the first quarter. Like, that's the tell. Like, they are tough to rep in practice, tough to replicate. And so I think that how you start the game is a big deal.
Talking about that Georgia offense, statistically, you see Tennessee atop the country, and just behind them, Georgia feels like they're being overlooked a little bit. Would you say so? And is that a credit to Todd Monken and what he's done? I
think Todd's done a great job. This offense with Stetson is definitely different than it was a year ago. Last year, you think about this offense, it was like, don't screw it up, don't screw it up. Now I think you've seen, they're going to let him throw it. And Brock Bowers is the deal. Like, he's the deal. He's the best. If you're going to ask me to pick go through my list of top 5 players in college football, I'm not getting past 5 with him. I mean, he's just what he does for this team sets the tone for everything that they do. And his ability to play on the perimeter and win against corners, and then you got corners that got to try to get in his way and try to get by him when he blocks somebody. Darnell Washington, like, that 1-2 punch really is the tone setters of this. Is the tone setting of this offense. I think Stetson's feet now, when in games like this, when you need it, becomes more of a factor. Like, he can pull it. We know that. He's a great athlete. So, does anybody outside at wide receiver make some plays? Because I think that when you look at this offense, that's been the weakness the last several weeks. Like, McConkey needs to make some plays. Aaron Smith is healthy, and he's a burner. You can tell. So can he make some plays? But I think the offense is in a good spot. But it would definitely will feel pressure when you go against an offense like this that can score.
Georgia's defense. You've seen Tennessee's offense. If you were Kirby, if you were Glenn, if you were Will, how would you try and match up against that Tennessee offense?
Well, I don't care about yards. I swallow my pride when it comes to yards. Just don't give up big plays. When you get in the red, you're going to have to punch me in the mouth. You're going to have to run the football. Because remember, the way they space from sideline to sidelines, it creates so much space. And when you get in the fringe area, in the red zone, I don't have to cover as much space. So I don't have to be worried about that as much. And I think you become a much better defense because it becomes easier. So I think be great in the red is the biggest key.
If this game turns into a 4-quarter shootout, how confident are you in Georgia's offense to keep up with Tennessee's offense if it turns into that type of game?
Well, I think great teams, you have to be able to win different ways. And I think you probably would have said, are you confident when you played Alabama and Stetson's down by 2 score or down by a score late in the fourth quarter? How confident do you feel? And I think they've kind of answered that time and time again. So I trust this offense. I think they're really, really good. I also trust Tennessee's offense. I think Tennessee's offense is really good. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's a shootout. That's not going to surprise me at all. I think it will be.
Can Jalen Carter be effective in a game? I mean, the game moves so fast. What does a guy like number 88 mean to a game like this?
Did you just say, can Jalen Carter be effective?
To what extent can Jalen Carter be effective?
If you watch Jalen Carter, I want you to go find a better defensive tackle in college football. I want you to go find a more dominant defensive lineman, including Will Anderson. So that'll answer your question.
Hey guys, that's all the time we have.
Y'all have a good one.
Thanks,